Most dysfunctional workplaces don't reveal themselves on day one. The warning signs come earlier. I'm Kelvin with Uncommon Sense Lab. Welcome to the psychology of a dysfunctional workplace. Today, we're looking at the early warning signs of a dysfunctional workplace, the cracks that show up long before a new hire realizes what they've stepped into. We'll use an organizational psychology lens, so I want to quickly walk through a few terms. These matter because they explain why things feel off even when the job looks perfect on paper. First, psychological contract formation. That's the set of expectations a candidate forms based on what the company promises: support, clarity, culture, stability. Second, leadership misalignment. That's when leaders send conflicting messages or operate from different playbooks. And third, red flag rationalization, also called cognitive override. That's when someone senses something is wrong, but still moves forward anyway. Most people feel these things long before they can describe them, and those early moments can shape the entire work experience. Our guest today is Abigail, who lived all three. Abigail, thanks again for being here today. I think we should start at the beginning because what you experienced is sadly more common than people think. So Abigail, tell us a little about yourself and about the type of role were you going for?
Thanks for having me today, Kelvin. And, by the way, I wrote down those definitions you just gave. It already makes me think, yep, that might be exactly what I walked into, even though I didn't have the words for it at the time. I'm excited about how you will break this down for me and all of your listeners. So, my background consists of about 15 years in learning development and sales. Long story short, I took 5 years off to have a baby and to finish my degree. So I was so excited to get back into a meaningful corporate role. It was for a territory-based sales role at a small edtech company. I'd be visiting schools, meeting teachers, running demos, basically helping them understand how to use and adopt the tools. So when I got the call from their recruiter, it felt like a great way to re-enter and pivot into edtech from corporate learning and development, which I was genuinely excited about.
I get it why this sounded exciting to you, and this is often the case. But tell me, during the hiring process, how was the role explained to you?
Well, first I was told the product could really help students learn more and faster, which thrilled me. I've always had a passion for learning and helping others learn, especially young people. That part really spoke to me. And beyond the typical field sales role, I was told the team offered collaboration, support, and a mission-driven culture. It sounded meaningful and aligned with what I wanted. And after time away, I wanted something that felt not only stable, but purposeful.
That really lands, Abigail. Psych-wise, that taps the big motivators: clarity, purpose, support, growth. Those themes make anyone more invested.
Absolutely, and I was totally invested at that point.
So, obviously we're talking about a dysfunctional workplace, and you didn't discover the real issues until you were already in the role. But when did things first start to feel off?
Well, actually, there was a red flag before I accepted the offer. In the final interview, it was over Zoom. The hiring manager, the VP, and the HR recruiter were all together in a conference room. Pretty normal setup. But then I noticed the CEO joined the interview panel. That surprised me. Not because I'd never spoken with senior leadership, I actually had met him before. But for a territory-level role, that level of involvement felt very unusual. Still, I brushed it off because I have so much experience interviewing that his presence didn't worry me. Everything was going smoothly. They liked my presentation. And then I asked a very simple territory question, directly to the VP. She answered, but her answer wasn't actually the answer to the question I'd asked. Before I could clarify, the CEO abruptly cut her off and corrected her, right there, on the call, in front of everyone in the room, and me on camera. She looked shocked. She literally turned red. It was sharp, awkward, and the whole vibe shifted.
Well, one of the terms you wrote down earlier actually does apply here. Psychologists call this leadership misalignment. It's when senior leaders contradict each other publicly or operate from totally different playbooks. When that happens in front of employees, it usually means there are deeper conflicts behind the scenes, and people end up stuck in the middle without realizing it.
Oh, that makes so much sense. That's exactly what I experienced. What did you call it? Let me check my notes. Yeah, cognitive override. I definitely did that. I brushed it off because I really wanted this opportunity to work.
Don't beat yourself up. It's totally normal. Cognitive override lets you downplay early discomfort because you genuinely want things to work out, and our brains protect that hope. And listening to you, I can feel that you really wanted this role to be the right one. So even after witnessing that moment between the CEO and the VP, they offered you the position and you still said yes. Since we just talked about cognitive override, how did that show up for you in the moment?
Oh, it showed up exactly the way you described. I wanted this to work so badly that I kept telling myself, don't overthink it. It's just one weird moment. I'd been out of the workforce for a bit. I really wanted back into the working world, and I was hopeful. So even though something felt off, I pushed past it. And honestly, I hoped the job would be what they promised.
Hope is powerful. It's one of the biggest reasons people override early red flags. Our brains are wired to protect the version of the story we want to be true. And that hope carried you forward, even after that awkward moment with the CEO. So you accepted the offer and started preparing for onboarding. Before your first day, did anything else feel off?
Yes, the travel arrangements. HR booked my flight for training, and when I checked the itinerary, the return date was for the wrong month. Not the wrong day, the wrong month. I would have been stuck there for 30 extra days. I had to email them to explain it, and they acted like it was no big deal. But it felt careless, like they were rushing or not paying attention. At the time, I brushed it off and thought, okay, mistakes happen. But looking back, it was the second clear sign that things weren't as organized as they claimed that they were.
Honestly, that kind of logistical slip matters. And some research suggests that little errors like that are often early signs of operational inconsistency. Basically, when the internal processes are already shaky. When a company can't manage the basics, the people always end up absorbing the chaos later.
Yeah, that sounds about right, but it gets so much worse.
And that's where we'll stop for today. 2 red flags already on the table: leadership misalignment and operational inconsistency. And remember, Abigail hasn't even started the job yet. In part 2, things escalate fast. Unclear training, missing systems, mixed messages, and a level of confusion no one prepared her for. Thanks for being here. This is Uncommon Sense Lab, where we break down real workplace stories through a psychology lens. And while you're waiting for part 2, check out the shorts on the channel. They're quick breakdowns that'll help you spot these patterns in your own jobs. See you next time.